Daeho Kim pushed the controls of his cargo ship forward. The engines hummed softly as he flew through the dark space near New Bizen Station. Stars dotted the black sky like tiny diamonds. He had made this trip many times before. It was just another normal day. His cargo hold was full of food supplies and medicine for the mining station. The workers there needed these things to survive on the cold asteroid. Daeho liked his job. It was peaceful and simple. He could think while he flew alone through space. The radio crackled to life. "Cargo ship Blue Dragon, this is New Bizen Control. How far are you from the station?" Daeho pressed the talk button. "About 2 hours out. Everything is normal here." "Good. We need those medical supplies fast. Dr. Park is waiting for them." Dr. Park was his sister Sojin. She worked as a doctor on the station. She always worried about having enough medicine for emergencies. Daeho smiled thinking about her. She was very smart but also very serious about her work. Suddenly, his ship's alarm started beeping loudly. Red lights flashed on his control panel. Daeho sat up straight and looked at his screens. Something big was coming toward him very fast. "What the hell?" he said to himself. On his radar screen, he saw a huge ship spinning out of control. It was much bigger than his small cargo ship. Fire and smoke poured from its sides. The ship was falling toward the asteroid where New Bizen Station was built. Daeho had never seen a ship like this before. It was long and sharp with strange curves and spikes. The metal looked different from human ships. This was not made by humans. "New Bizen Control, this is Blue Dragon. I see a large unknown ship crashing toward the station. It looks alien." The radio was quiet for a moment. Then Commander Taemin's voice came through. He sounded worried. "Blue Dragon, stay away from that ship. We don't know what it is. Come to the station now." But Daeho could not look away from the crashing ship. It hit the asteroid's surface with a huge explosion. Fire and rocks flew everywhere. The blast was so bright it hurt his eyes. Daeho had been a soldier before he became a cargo pilot. He had trained as a medic in the army. When he saw people hurt, he wanted to help them, even if they were not human people. "Sorry, Commander," he said into the radio. "I'm going to check if anyone is alive in that crash." "Daeho, no, that's an order. Come back to the station." But Daeho had already turned his ship toward the crash site. His hands moved quickly over the controls. The cargo ship was not built for this kind of flying, but he made it work. He landed his ship near the burning wreck. Through his window, he could see twisted metal and broken parts everywhere. The alien ship was huge, much bigger than it looked from far away. Smoke rose from many holes in its side. Daeho put on his spacesuit and grabbed his medical kit. The air on the asteroid was too thin to breathe. He had to be careful not to get lost in the smoke and fire. He walked toward the wreck. His boots crunched on broken glass and metal pieces. The ship's hull was cracked open like a broken egg. Inside, he could see strange lights still glowing. "Hello?" he called out. "Is anyone alive in there?" He heard a weak sound, like someone trying to talk. Daeho followed the sound deeper into the ship. The walls were covered with symbols he could not read. Everything looked very different from human technology. In what looked like the control room, he found her. The alien was lying on the floor, covered in her own blood. She was taller than any human Daeho had ever seen, maybe 7 feet tall. Her skin was pale blue, and she had strange markings on her face. She wore armor that looked like it was part of her body. Her eyes opened when she heard him coming. They were bright yellow like cat eyes. She tried to sit up but fell back down. Blood poured from wounds all over her body. Daeho knelt down beside her. He had never seen an alien before, but he could tell she was dying. Her breathing was fast and shallow. Her blood was not red like human blood. It was dark purple. A small device on her chest started making sounds. Suddenly, words came out of it in human language. "Human," she said through the device. Her voice was deep and rough. "Why are you here?" "I came to help," Diho said. He opened his medical kit. "You're hurt badly. I'm a medic." The alien tried to laugh, but it came out as a cough. More purple blood came from her mouth. "Your medicine will not work on me. Our bodies are too different. Leave me to die with honor." Diho looked at his medical supplies. She was right. Human medicine was made for human bodies. But he could not just leave her here to die. "What's your name?" he asked. "I am Veltara, of the Corvani Empire. I am a warrior." She closed her yellow eyes. "I have fought in 100 battles. I never thought I would die in a crash. My name is Diho. And you're not going to die today." Diho looked at her wounds. She was losing too much blood. That was the biggest problem. If he could stop the bleeding and give her more blood, maybe she could live long enough to get real help. But her blood was completely different from his. Every medic knew that mixing different blood types could kill both people. Mixing human and alien blood should be impossible. Still, doing nothing would definitely kill her. Maybe trying would give her a chance. "This is going to sound crazy," Diho said, "but I want to give you some of my blood. It might not work, but it's the only chance you have." Veltara opened her eyes again. She stared at him for a long moment. "You would risk your life for an alien, for an enemy? You're not my enemy. You're just someone who needs help." For the first time, Veltara looked surprised. "I do not understand humans." Diho was already preparing the blood transfusion equipment. His hands moved quickly and surely. He had done this many times during the war, but never like this. "Neither do I sometimes," he said. He put the needle in his arm first. His red blood flowed through the clear tube. Then he put the other needle in Veltara's arm. Her skin was tougher than human skin, but the needle went through. "If this kills us both, I'm sorry," Diho said. "If it saves my life, I will owe you a debt that can never be repaid," Veltara replied. Diho's blood flowed into Veltara's body. At first, nothing happened. Then both of them started to shake. Diho felt like fire was running through his veins. Veltara's body went stiff. "Something's wrong," Diho said. But he did not stop the transfusion. Then the shaking stopped. Veltara's breathing became stronger. The color returned to her face. The bleeding slowed down. "It's working," Diho whispered. He could not believe it, but something else was happening too. Diho felt strange, like something was changing inside. He felt stronger, but also different. And he could sense something in his mind that was not his own thoughts. Veltara sat up slowly. She looked at her hands, then at Diho. Her yellow eyes were glowing brighter now. "What have you done?" she asked. But she did not sound angry. She sounded amazed. "I saved your life, I hope," Diho said. He felt dizzy from losing blood, but also somehow more alive than before. "No," Veltara said. "You have done something much more important. Something that should have been impossible." She reached out and touched his hand. When their skin met, Diho felt a shock run through his whole body. Not painful, but powerful. Like electricity, but warm. "I can feel your thoughts," Veltara said quietly. "And you can feel mine." Diho realized she was right. He could sense her emotions, her memories, her very soul. It was like they were connected by an invisible wire. "How is this possible?" he asked. "I do not know, but we must get to your station quickly. My people will come looking for me soon. And when they find out what has happened ... She did not finish the sentence. "Is that bad?" Diho asked. Veltara looked at him with her glowing eyes. "Human, what you have done today will either start a war between our peoples or change the galaxy forever. Maybe both." They helped each other walk back to Diho's ship. As they flew toward New Bizin Station, both of them wondered what would happened next? The simple cargo run had become something much bigger and more dangerous. Neither of them knew that their blood bond would soon make them the most important people in two different worlds. Deho's cargo ship landed at New Bizan Station with a loud bang. He was not the best pilot when he was tired and confused. His sister So-Jin was waiting at the landing dock with her medical team. She ran to the ship as soon as the engines stopped. Deho, what happened out there? Commander Tae-min is very angry with you. So-Jin shouted as she climbed into the ship. Then she saw Velterra. So-Jin stopped moving. Her mouth fell open. She had studied alien life for many years, but she had never seen a real alien before. Velterra was sitting in the co-pilot seat, looking very tired but alive. So-Jin, meet Velterra, Deho said. Velterra, this is my sister. She's a doctor. Velterra tried to stand up to greet So-Jin properly, but she was still weak. I am honored to meet you, sister of Deho. Your brother saved my life. So-Jin looked back and forth between them. Deho, what did you do? How is she even alive? Alien and human biology should not work together. That's what I want to know too, Deho said. I gave her some of my blood. It should have killed us both, but instead we are connected, Velterra finished. I can feel what he feels. It is very strange. So-Jin's eyes went wide. As a scientist, she was excited and scared at the same time. We need to get both of you to the medical bay right now. I need to run tests. Commander Tae-min came running into the landing dock with 4 security guards. He was a big man with gray hair and a loud voice. Kim Deho, you disobeyed a direct order. You could have started a war. He stopped when he saw Velterra. The alien warrior was much taller than him, even sitting down. Her yellow eyes seemed to glow in the station's lights. Commander, Velterra said through her translator device. Your man saved my life when he could have left me to die. He showed great courage and honor. Tae-min did not know what to say. He had been ready to yell at Deho, but praising someone for saving a life was hard to argue with. Ma'am, Your Highness. I don't know how to address you, Tae-min said. Velterra is fine. I am a warrior, not a queen. But I must warn you, my people will come looking for me soon. They may not be as friendly as I am. How soon? Tae-min asked. Very soon. My ship sent out a distress signal before it crashed. Rescue fleet is probably already on the way. So-Jin grabbed both Deho and Velterra by the arms. Medical bay, now. We need to understand what happened before anyone else arrives. The medical bay was the cleanest part of the station. White walls, bright lights, and machines that beeped and hummed. So-Jin made Deho and Velterra lie down on examination tables, next to each other. I'm going to take some blood samples from both of you, So-Jin said. Don't worry, just a little bit. She drew blood from Deho first. His blood looked normal, red and human. Then she took blood from Velterra. The aliens. Blood was dark purple, almost black. So-Jin put the samples under her microscope and looked at them on her computer screen. What she saw made her gasp. This is impossible, she whispered. What is it? Deho asked. Your blood cells. They've changed. Deho, your red blood cells now have traces of Velterra's genetic material in them. And Velterra, your blood has adapted to carry human DNA. Velterra sat up quickly. What does this mean? It means you two have somehow merged at a cellular level. Your bodies have accepted each other completely. This should not be possible between different species. Deho felt a strange tingling in his arms and legs. I feel different, stronger somehow. I feel different too, Velterra said. But not just stronger. I can understand emotions better now. Human emotions are very complex. So-Jin ran more tests. She checked their heart rates, brain waves, and muscle strength. Every test showed the same thing. Both of them had changed. Deho, your reflexes are now 3 times faster than normal humans. Your muscle density has increased by 40%. And your healing ability is much better. What about Veltara? Her brain patterns show new neural pathways that were not there before. She's developed the ability to understand human emotional responses. Her mind is now more flexible, more creative. Veltara stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the stars. In my language, what has happened to us is called Kethmiran. It means blood joining or soul bonding. You have a word for this? So Jin asked. It is part of our oldest traditions. But it has only been done between Corvani warriors, never with an alien. Most of my people believed it was impossible with other species. Daiho joined her at the window. When he stood next to her, both of them seemed to glow with a soft light. What does it mean for us? It means we are bound together for life. We can share thoughts, feelings, and strength. In battle, Kethmiran pairs fight as one warrior with 2 bodies. Battle? Daiho did not like the sound of that. Yes, but there are laws about the Kethmiran. Ancient laws that my people take very seriously. Commander Taemin had been listening quietly. Now he stepped forward. What kind of laws? Veltara turned to face him. Her expression was serious. Any alien who performs the Kethmiran with a Corvani must be tested. They must prove they are worthy of the bond, or they must die. The room went silent, so Jin dropped her medical tablet. It clattered on the floor. Die? Daiho asked. The trials are called Velthak, the proving. 3 tests of strength, wisdom, and honor. Many Corvani warriors fail these tests. No alien has ever even tried them. And if I refuse to take these tests, then my people will consider the Kethmiran a contamination. They will kill you to cleanse the dishonor. They may also declare war on humanity for allowing it to happen. Taemin sat down heavily in a chair. So we're looking at either the death of one man or a war between species. I am afraid so, Commander. Suddenly, alarms started blaring throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors. A voice came over the speaker system. All hands to battle stations, multiple alien ships approaching. This is not a drill. Veltara closed her eyes and seemed to listen to something only she could hear. They are here, 5 battleships and a flagship. My father leads them. Your father? So Jin asked. Elder Thexver, leader of the Burning Talon clan. He's one of the most powerful Corvani in the Empire. Through the medical bay window, they could see lights in space getting bigger and brighter. The Corvani fleet was huge. Each ship was the size of a human city, covered in spikes and weapons. Daiho felt fear, but also determination. The blood bond made him braver somehow. What do I need to do? You must face the trials, Daiho. There's no other way. And if I fail? Veltara looked at him with her glowing yellow eyes. Then we both die. The Kethmiran bonds us in life and death. The largest Corvani ship moved closer to the station. Its weapons were powering up, ready to fire. Commander Taemin received a message on his communication device. They want to talk, he said. They're demanding we surrender you both immediately. Daiho looked at his sister, then at Veltara, then at Commander Taemin. A few hours ago, he had been a simple cargo pilot. Now the fate of 2 species might depend on his actions. Tell them I accept their trials, Daiho said. But I want to do this properly, according to their laws and traditions. Veltara smiled for the first time since he had met her. You have the heart of a warrior, Daiho Kim. Perhaps there is hope for us yet. Outside the window, the Corvani fleet waited. Inside the medical bay, a human man and an alien warrior prepared to face the greatest challenge of their lives. The blood bond had connected them, but now it might destroy them both. The Corvani flagship Burning Talon was bigger than anything Daiho had ever seen. When the transport ship carried him and Veltara inside, he felt like a tiny ant walking into a giant's house. The walls were made of dark metal with strange symbols carved everywhere. Elder Thexver was waiting for them in the main hall. He was even taller than Veltara, with scars covering his arms and face. His eyes were bright orange instead of yellow. When he saw his daughter, his expression softened. For just a moment. "Veltara, my child, I am glad you are alive," he said in a deep voice. "Father, this human saved my life. His name is Daeho Kim, and he is worthy of respect." Elder Thexver looked at Daeho like he was studying a strange bug. "Human, you have done something that should be impossible. You have bonded with Corvani blood. This creates a serious problem." "I understand, sir," Daeho said. Veltara explained about the trials. "I accept whatever you decide." "Good, you show proper respect, but respect will not be enough. The Velthak trials will test everything about you, your body, your mind, and your soul." Other Corvani warriors filled the hall. They were all huge and covered in armor. They looked at Daeho with curiosity and doubt. No human had ever stood in this place before. "The first trial is combat," Elder Thexver announced. "You will fight Champion Kefver with no weapons. If you yield or fall unconscious, you fail." Champion Kefver stepped forward. He was even bigger than the Elder, with muscles like steel cables. His fists were the size of Daeho's head. "I do not wish to hurt you, small human," Kefver said. "But I will not hold back." Daeho felt the blood bond giving him strength. His muscles felt different now, more powerful. But he was still much smaller than his opponent. The fight began quickly. Kefver moved fast for such a big warrior. His first punch would have broken Daeho's ribs, but the blood bond made Daeho faster. 2. He dodged and rolled away. For 10 minutes, Daeho ran and dodged. He could not match Kefver's strength, so he used speed and cleverness instead. When Kefver got tired from missing so many attacks, Daeho finally struck back, using moves from his military training. Daeho hit pressure points on Kefver's legs and arms. The big warrior stumbled and fell. Daeho jumped on his back and put him in a chokehold, but Kefver was too strong. He threw Daeho across the room. Daeho hit the wall hard and felt his shoulder break. Pain shot through his body. "Yield, human," Kefver shouted. "You fought well, but this is over." Daeho struggled to stand up. His left arm hung useless at his side. Through the blood bond, he could feel Veltara's pain and worry. That gave him strength to keep going. "I will not yield," Daeho said. "Not when Veltara's life depends on this." The crowd of Corvani warriors murmured in surprise. Even with a broken shoulder, the human would not give up. Kefver attacked again, but more carefully this time. Daeho fought with only one good arm, using his legs and head as weapons. He could not win, but he would not lose either. Finally, Elder Thexver called for the fight to stop. "Enough, the human has shown courage beyond his strength. He passes the first trial." Daeho fell to his knees, breathing hard. Veltara ran to help him, and when she touched his broken shoulder, it began to heal faster than normal. The blood bond was helping him recover. "The second trial is wisdom," Elder Thexver said. "You must solve the puzzle of worlds." They brought out a large table covered with star maps, resource charts, and battle plans. It looked like the most complicated game Daeho had ever seen. "This is a simulation of galactic war," the Elder explained. "You must defend 5 star systems against attack while managing limited resources. You have 1 hour. Even our best strategists need 3 hours to complete this puzzle." Daeho studied the maps. The Corvani way of thinking was very logical and organized, but humans thought differently. They were more creative and willing to take risks. Instead of trying to defend all 5 systems equally, Daeho did something unexpected. He abandoned 2 systems completely and used all their resources to make the other 3 systems super strong. The Corvani watching him were shocked. "You cannot abandon entire worlds." One of them shouted. "Watch me," Deho said calmly. His strategy worked. The enemy forces wasted time attacking the abandoned systems, while Deho's strengthened defenses destroyed their main fleet. He finished the puzzle in 45 minutes. Elder Thexver stared at the completed puzzle. "Impossible. You sacrificed millions of people to save billions more." "Sometimes you have to make hard choices to win," Deho said. "Humans are good at thinking outside the rules. This is not how we would solve it, but it works. You passed the 2nd trial. The 3rd trial was the most dangerous." They took Deho to a simulation room that looked completely real. Inside, he found himself in a burning city with screaming civilians running everywhere. "This is the trial of honor," Elder Thexver's voice came from speakers. "You must choose between saving yourself or saving others. Choose wisely." In the simulation, Deho was a soldier trying to escape the city before it was destroyed. He could see the exit clearly. He could run there and be safe. But between him and safety were dozens of Corvani children trapped in a burning building. Deho did not hesitate. He ran toward the building instead of toward safety. The simulation threw everything at him: falling debris, explosions, toxic smoke. His body was hurt and burned, but he kept going. One by one, he carried the children out of the building. Each trip became harder as the fire got worse. On the last trip, the building collapsed just as he got the final child outside. In the simulation, Deho died saving that last child. The simulation ended, and Deho found himself back in the Corvani ship. He was alive, but he felt like he had really died and come back. Elder Thexver was staring at him with new respect. In that simulation, you could have saved yourself easily. Instead, you chose to die for alien children you had never met. "They were children," Deho said simply. "It did not matter what species they were. No Corvani warrior has ever shown such pure honor. You have passed all 3 trials, human. But I must tell you something important." The elder walked to a large computer terminal and pressed several buttons. Ancient symbols appeared on the screen. "These are the oldest records of our people. They speak of a prophecy called the Keth Vel-Tar, the Great Bonding. It says that one day, Corvani would bond with their lost brothers from across the stars." Veltara gasped. "Father, you mean ... "Yes, my daughter. The blood tests we ran show that humans and Corvani share the same ancient ancestors. Millions of years ago, before our worlds separated, we were the same people." Deho could not believe what he was hearing. "We're related to you? Distant cousins, you might say. That is why the Keth Mirren worked between you and Veltara. And that is why the prophecy speaks of great danger coming." Elder Thexver pressed more buttons. The screen showed images of strange, dark ships unlike anything human or Corvani. "The Devourers," he said quietly. "Ancient enemies that destroyed entire galaxies long ago. Our prophecies say they will return, and only the Great Bonding can stop them." Commander Tae-Min's voice crackled over the communication system. "Elder Thexver, we're getting emergency signals from the outer colonies. Something is attacking our ships." The main screen switched to show a human space station under attack. But the attackers were not ships at all. They were huge crystalline creatures that seemed to eat metal and energy. "The Devourers have returned," Elder Thexver said grimly. "Just as the prophecy predicted." Deho watched in horror as the station was consumed completely. Thousands of people lived there, and now they were all gone. "How do we fight something like that?" "Alone we cannot," the elder replied. "But the prophecy speaks of bonded pairs. Who can defeat them?" "The Keth Mirren creates a special energy that disrupts their feeding." Veltara stood beside Deho, and again they began to glow with soft light. "Father, I can feel the power when we are together." It is unlike anything I have experienced. More reports came in from across human and Corvani space. The Devourers were attacking everywhere at once. Their ships could absorb any weapon fired at them and grow stronger. We need to work together, Deho said. Humans and Corvani must unite to fight this threat. Elder Thexver nodded slowly. Yes, but our peoples have been separate for so long. How can we trust each other in battle? The same way Veltara and I learned to trust each other, Deho answered. Through the blood bond. Dr. So Jin's voice came over the radio from New Business Station. Deho, I've been studying your blood samples. I think I can create a synthetic version of the bonding compound. We could create more human Corvani pairs. That would take too long, Veltara said. The Devourers will consume everything before. We can bond enough warriors. Elder Thexver was studying the tactical displays. There is another way. If we can get close to their mothership and destroy its central brain, the rest will become confused and easier to defeat. How do we get close to something that eats spaceships? Deho asked. With this, the Elder said, pointing to the glow around Deho and Veltara. Your bond energy seems to repel them. A small ship carrying bonded pairs might be able to penetrate their defenses. The plan was dangerous and probably impossible. But it was the only hope they had. I'll do it, Deho said immediately. We will do it, Veltara corrected. The bond makes us one warrior with two bodies, remember? Elder Thexver looked at his daughter with pride and sadness. I cannot ask you to sacrifice yourself for two species that barely know each other. You are not asking, Father. I am choosing. This human risked his life to save mine. Now I will risk mine to save his people and ours. The Corvani fleet and the human ships from New Bizin began working together to prepare for the desperate mission. Engineers from both species combined their technology to build weapons that could hurt the Devourers. Deho and Veltara trained together, learning to fight as one mind in two bodies. The blood bond let them anticipate each other's moves perfectly, but the Devourers were getting closer. Soon they would reach the core worlds of both species. Time was running out. The final battle began at dawn on the third day. The Devourer mothership was the size of a small moon, covered in crystal spikes that pulsed with stolen energy. Around it, thousands of smaller creatures fed on the wreckage of destroyed ships. Deho and Veltara flew their small ship straight toward the mothership. The bond energy around them created a bubble that the Devourers could not penetrate. Behind them, the combined human and Corvani fleets engaged the smaller creatures. I can see the brain chamber, Veltara said, studying her instruments. It is in the center of the mothership, protected by layers of crystal armor. Can we get through? Deho asked as he piloted their ship between the massive spikes. Not with weapons. But if we combine our bond energy and release it all at once, we would die, Deho finished. Yes, but our peoples would live. Deho looked at her and smiled. You know what? I can think of worse ways to go. They flew deeper into the mothership. The walls around them pulsed with dark energy that tried to drain their ship's power. But the blood bond protected them like a shield of light. Finally, they reached the brain chamber. It was a huge cavity filled with swirling energy and floating crystal formations. At the center was the Devourer's consciousness, a mass of pure hunger and destruction. Together? Veltara asked, taking Deho's hand. Together, he agreed. They released all their bond energy at once. Light exploded from their bodies, brighter than a star. The Devourer mothership screamed as the energy tore through its consciousness. But instead of dying, Deho and Veltara found themselves surrounded by even more light. The blood bond had not destroyed them, it had evolved them into something new. The mothership began to collapse around them, but they flew out safely in their protective bubble of energy. Behind them, the entire Devourer fleet stopped moving as their controlling intelligence died. The combined human and Corvani fleet cheered as the threat ended. The galaxy was safe. Later, on New Bizan Station, Elder Thexver addressed both species over the communication network. Today, a human cargo pilot and a Corvani warrior have saved us all. Their bond has proven that we are stronger together than apart. Commander Tae-min stepped forward. From this day, humans and Corvani will be allies. We will share our knowledge, our technology, and our friendship. Dr. Sojin had been studying the changes in Deho and Veltara since the battle. The bond energy has changed them permanently. They now have abilities neither species has ever possessed. What kind of abilities? Deho asked. Enhanced healing, telepathic communication, and a lifespan that could last for centuries. You are the first of a new kind of being. Elder Thexver smiled. The prophecy spoke of this too. The bonded pairs will become guardians of peace between worlds. Over the following months, more humans and Corvani volunteered for the bonding process. Dr. Sojin perfected the synthetic compound that made it safer and easier. Deho and Veltara became the leaders of the Blood Guard, elite teams of bonded pairs who protected both species from threats. New Bizan Station was expanded into a massive city where humans and Corvani lived and worked together. It became the capital of their new alliance. 1 year after the crash that started everything, Deho stood on the observation deck of the station, looking out at the stars. Veltara joined him, as she always did. Do you ever regret what happened? She asked. Deho thought about his old life as a simple cargo pilot. Then he looked at the bustling city around them, filled with two species learning to be friends. Never, he said. I went to help one person and ended up helping entire civilizations. That is a pretty good trade. The blood bond taught both our peoples something important, Veltara said. What is that? That the best rewards come to those who help others without expecting anything in return. Deho smiled and took her hand. Their bond energy glowed softly around them, a symbol of hope for the future. He had saved an alien warrior with his blood. The reward had been unbelievable, not just for him, but for everyone in the galaxy. And this was only the beginning of their story.